Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Kam karoti vachalam pangulanga edegiri at kripata mande Shri Guru Dinatarna. I'll just read the translation of this song. O Vaishnava Thakura, I sang correct now. Actually, Bhaktivinoda Thakura's all songs are actually is like a Vedic literature only. Yeah. And these acharyas, all this song, they are singing, taking our position like a conditioned soul. They are all liberated soul. They come on the mission of the Lord. It's full of meaning and it's amazing actually. Bhaktivinoda Thakur particularly. Which year Srila Prabhupada was born? Appeared, 1896. There's some important incident happened that year. Very important incident. And anybody? 1896. Guess. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu precepts was sent to Canada. He is in Canada, that's why he could. Which university, correct? McGill or something, correct? Canada it was? So that's why he answered, I think. So it's a Prabhupada in one lecture also, he says, it's a very touching lecture actually. Prabhupada is speaking on the disappearance day of his spiritual master. There he says, very like emotional, very nicely actually Prabhupada is expressing his feeling out. So he's telling, I don't know, I was born in a different family. Bhaktivinoda Thakura, he is telling about Bhakti Siddhanta also, he was born in a different family, like that. Then he goes on to say, because the same year which he sent the book, that year he was born. So in this Disappearance Day, Prabhupada is saying, it's all Krishna's arrangement. Who knew I will come to your country in America? Who knew all you young boys and girls will take to Krishna? Like that, Prabhupada very nicely given that lecture. So I'll just read the translation. It's full of meaning actually. First stanza, Vaishnava Thakura, Dayara Sagara, Edase Koruna Kori, Diyapada Chaya, Sodoye Amaya, Tomara Charana Dori. O Vaishnava Thakura, O ocean of mercy, be merciful to me, your servant, and purify me by the shade of your lotus feet. Your feet I humble hold. So these Vaishnavas are ocean of mercy, Doyara Sagara. So if you get mercy of Vaishnavas, if you get mercy of pure Vaishnavas, pure devotees, actually then we made it actually. So for that we have to please them, we have to satisfy them as per the Shastric injunction. And purify me the shade of your lotus feet, your humble feet I hold. Actually the purified soul, Bhaktivinoda Thakur and all, who can come in the parampara. So much accomplishment he did. But so he is taking our position actually. In second stanza, Chaya Bega Domi, Chaya Dosha Sodi, Chaya Gunadeo Dase, Chaya Satsanga, Dehoi Hamare, Boshe Che Sangere Ase. Controlling my six urges. Prabhupada in that footnote also, this song. The six urges are those of speech, mind, anger, tongue, belly and genital. Purifying me of six faults. The six faults are overeating or collecting more monetary fund than required, over endeavoring for material objectives, unnecessary talking about mundane affairs, being too attached to or too neglectful of scriptural rules and regulations, associating with worldly minded persons, and lusting after mundane achievements. Where it comes, which verse is this from the scripture? Nectar of instruction. The sixth thing favorable for devotional service, and six things unfavorable. So these are the six unfavorable thing actually, because one of the principles of Sharanagati, surrender. How many principles Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave? Surrender principle. How many numbers of number 1, 2, 3 like that? 6 principles are there. So first principle is accepting things favorable for discharging devotional service. Second thing is rejecting unfavorable for devotional service. So like that. So this also the 6 things are mentioned in the nectar of instruction. Then third verse says, Hekhake yamara nai paya bala harinama sankirtane tumi kripa kori shraddha bindu diya dev Krishna nama dhane. So third verse. Yeah, and this verse in the previous thing also, dosha, about dosha, the 6 faults were there. Then good qualities, that the 6 good qualities are enthusiasm, patience, confidence, the determination to perform activities favorable to devotional service, the resolution to abandon the association of non-devotees, and the discipline required to always follow the footsteps of predecessor Acharya. So these are the 6 good qualities favorable for our Krishna consciousness. Utsaha, Nichaya, Dhairya, that's also nectar of instruction. So these Acharyas, whatever they quote, whatever they sing, it's all from the parampara, from the predecessor Acharyas. So these 6 Goswamis, they are given all this instruction. And in the second verse, still it's mentioned, this 4. Yeah, then the third verse, what I just read, the translation is, alone I find no strength to chant the holy name of Lord Hari. I beg you therefore, please be merciful with the particle of faith. Give me the treasure of the holy name of Krishna. Because Bhaktivinoda also says, correct? Golokera prema dana harinama sankirtana. This chanting, this Hare Krishna Mahamantra, it comes from the spiritual world. So it's not a mundane mantra like so many mantras maybe they are here, but it's coming from the spiritual world. So, and here he is saying, I find I have no strength to chant the holy name of the Lord Hari. I beg you therefore, please be merciful, the particle of faith, and give me the treasure. So this faith, Shraddha, is very important. Just like Madhu Pandit Prabhu's soulful japa, we are all hearing, trying to practice. It's helping a lot, correct? Soulful japa. More than, sometimes devotees says in the ashram, more than temple devotees, congregation, they are all taking it a lot serious, and they are all really feeling actually. So it has gone for years. Prabhu had done a lot of research, reading Prabhupada's quotes, and he has brought out very easily. At least some basic thing, if we follow, actually our japa quality will definitely improve. So we should try. And last stanza is, Krishna se tomara Krishna dite paro, tomara shakati ache. Amito kangal, Krishna Krishna boli, dai tava pache pache. Translation is, Krishna is yours. You are able to give him to me, for such is the power. I am indeed wretched and simply run after you, crying Krishna, Krishna. See? Bhaktivinoda Thakur is saying, I am indeed wretched and simply run after you, crying Krishna, Krishna. So, in the previous 6 qualities of association is also mentioned in the song translation. The 6th quality of spiritual association are receiving gifts, revealing one's inner thoughts, and posing confidential questions concerning devotional service, and accepting and offering spiritual food. So these are the 6 exchanges of the devotees. We disclose our mind to others, only devotees wish. Sometimes when we are practicing devotional service, we may come across some difficulties, some obstacles. Everybody goes through that. So you can actually take confidence on the devotee, Vaishnava. We should tell them, this is what Prabhu I am going through. So like that, because everybody we should understand we are all going through that phase only. So it's a question of time. Just like we all gone through preliminary school, primary school, high school, like that we all graduated. So the spiritual life is also like that. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur's life is very interesting. He was we all know he was a grahastha. He was, what is that it's called? He was a magistrate, and he was very, very powerful those days. Prabhupada explained that a horse cart will come and pick him up at 10 o'clock in the morning sharp. He'll be there, and he goes, and within short time he will pass so many judgments. Just hearing, tuck, 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 he will give solution. What others would have taken lots of hours. So he was materially also very, very accomplished. He was recognized, and so like that. So you see, Srila Prabhupada's life also, if you see, Prabhupada always says, I was not a scientist, I was not a... So Prabhupada used to challenge these scientists and all in the Western country, just imagine. Because if you are Krishna conscious, if you are practicing Krishna consciousness, actually Krishna, who is seated within our heart as Paramatma, will guide us actually. See, just like all of you will be preaching here, going for book distribution and so many things. We come across different forces, correct? Some people will not easily accept. So, if you do our sadhana nicely, chanting, reading, associating, all these things happen. When you go out, sometimes they may ask question, we don't know where we get the answer from, correct? Or we may know the answer also at that point of time, we may not be able to express it. All these things happens. So, Prabhupada, because they are all pure devotees, for them Krishna is dictating actually. They are not, so out of humility they express all these things. But the point is, Krishna who is seated in our heart as Paramatma is the Chaitya Guru, and externally these spiritual masters, these acharyas, they come on the mission of the Lord to spread Krishna's glory. So Bhaktivinoda Thakura used to finish all his magisterial work, come back. He was a grahastha, we all know. He had many children, and his house was also very close to Jagannath Puri, or Jagannath Puri temple. So there's a Gaudiya Math today also. Many of you would have, how many of you have visited Jagannath Puri? So So Jagannath Puri, if you go before the temple itself, there's a nice Gaudiya Math temple. It's a birthplace of Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakura also, Prabhupada's spiritual master. So there are many pastime, Bhaktivinoda Thakura, how they will not tolerate any anybody speaking against the sampradaya. Because Shastra says, sampradaya veena mantra, it's nishfalaha. That is, if you don't receive any mantra, if you don't receive mantra from the bona fide parampara, it will not have any effect. See, that's why when we tell about Krishna consciousness, somebody, lot of people actually, they spend time useless actually. If you see, when we come in touch with Prabhupada's books and the Prabhupada teaching and the Bhagavad Gita, which Prabhupada has given in a very lucid way, we understand actually, even a beginner, even a bhakta, initial stages actually we can grasp certain things. So these are all by Lord's mercy, we have come in touch with Srila Prabhupada's mission, movement in different forms. And so Bhaktivinoda Thakura, then he comes back and his schedule and all is there, very interesting. He'll come, he'll take some early supper, he'll take a rest for a while, and he'll start writing books, writing all these hundreds of poems are there actually on our Vaishnava literatures. Yes, written so many, many of the songs actually we daily sing in ISKCON Bangalore also. So and by 12 o'clock he goes to rest. Like that their life. In other words, Krishna consciousness can be practiced in any walk of life. We may be situated in any situation. We may be maybe grahastha or sannyasi, vanaprastha or brahmachari. It doesn't matter actually. So these are all inspiration for us. How generally we say I am caught up, I don't have time. This generally we say, correct? So Prabhupada also says about this thing, we can't, one day we are going to quit the body. When that moment comes, when we have to die, we can say, I have something to finish, please give me some extension. Like that we can request also. Prabhupada in a lecture also says about a person, a businessman, who in Allahabad, I think it was. So he is requesting the physician, please give me maybe 4 years. I have some business to finish. So Prabhupada says, what is this useless thing? If at all nobody can give extension for us, if at all somebody is able to give extension also, what is the great deal? We have to one day quit. So people miss out all this thing. They are caught up in various activities. So we have to do a devotional service in a regulated way actually, under the guidance. Prabhupada, whenever he says this in the Bhagavad Gita purport, the Bhagavatam, under the guidance of a bona fide spiritual master, he says. Because they are like the scientist for us. They have done all research. We did not do anything actually. We have to just follow with little faith. Because spiritual life begins with faith. That's why again Rupa Goswami says, Ado Shraddha. Shraddha means, generally it's called faith. Prabhupada also translate as preliminary desire to serve the Lord. See, all of us, before we came into Krishna consciousness, if we see ourselves, we are all doing so many things. Just for the heck of doing. Even spiritual path, if we are practicing something, we are just doing or worshipping so many God, we didn't know anything. But we had some little faith, so we followed this Krishna conscious process, Ado Shraddha, Tata Sadhu Sangha. So then you associate with devotees, associate with Srila Prabhupada in the form of books are there, it's thousands of lectures are there. When you hear all these things, Ado Shraddha, Tata Sadhu Sangha, Then ata bhajana kriya. Then we want to do some practical devotional service. Bhakti is it's a practical devotional service. Bhaja, the root word bhaja means to render service. Because we are meant to render service to someone. So if you are not rendering service to Lord Krishna, we have to render service to Maya. That's all. There is no third option. Lord or Lord's energy. So Lord's energy, Maya, is like a police department. It's going to whip us, beat us only. Whereas if you surrender voluntarily to Krishna, it is for our benefit. That's why in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is speaking about different types of yoga, then different things he is speaking, correct? In the 18th chapter, he concludes that the famous word, what is that? Sarva dharman parityajya, chant. So Krishna is telling, just surrender unto me. Abandon all varieties of religion, just surrender unto me alone. Actually, it's little heavy statement if you see like that. He's demanding, Krishna is demanding, surrender unto me alone. So, like before coming in touch, we may be worshipping some different devatas. We know some people are chanting, even in Bangalore like that, they'll be chanting 16 round. They come gradually to 16 round. Still they can't take out Devata's picture from there if they are worshipping maybe Murugan or Shiva or Durga. That also will be in the altar actually. Because they feel that if we remove that deity, then maybe they will be displeased or something like that. But we understand from Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is very categorically brought out all these things, how it works. In the 7th chapter, 20th verse to 23rd verse, Krishna very clearly, nicely explains who are these devatas, what are their position, the boon they are giving. It's not actually they are giving, it is given by Lord Sri Krishna, like that. And finally Krishna concludes that people who are worshipping the demigod, the antavantu phalam tesha tad bhavati alpamedasam. They are all less intelligent people like that. So Krishna, Prabhupada, whatever he presented is based on Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam and our Vedic literature. It's not that Prabhupada, and Prabhupada lecture if we hear, I'm sure all of you will be hearing, it's amazing actually. Very simple Prabhupada presents, and whatever he speaks, immediately quotes from the scriptures. Then it becomes authentic. He never says, I think, it is my opinion. No. Because we don't, when you go and preach again, people have their own thing. They say, many people say, I don't read Bhagavad Gita, I just go and preach, like that. So it's all actually mental concoction. It doesn't work like that. It will not be authentic. So, Ado Shraddha Tata Sadhu Sangha Atha Bhajana Kriya. We'll practically do chanting. I have been seeing very few devotees are putting up the show, inauguration time also. So, it's very nice. Practical devotional service when we do. Bhakti is actually, that practical devotional service brings a lot of purity to us. It will give, we can easily give up all our misgivings actually, whatever we have thinking now. So, bhajana kriya tato anartha nivritti syat. Then fourth step is anartha nivritti syat. We can give up things which are not necessary. Artha means value, useful. Anartha means no use, waste. So like that, Prabhupada gave many examples about anartha also, smoking, drinking, all these things. It's not required actually. Even when we become little fixed up in Krishna consciousness, according to scriptures, we don't even take tea, coffee and all. Correct? So initially it is little tough when we are starting practicing Krishna consciousness. But over a period of time, we can easily give it up actually. I remember in my case itself, I was thinking how I can give up coffee because anybody born in a South Indian family, and my coffee should be actually it should be so hot, and it's a filter coffee. In India, Kumbakonam, it's a big chain of restaurant is there, so that steam should come out. Otherwise, hey, what is this? Not hot. I'll return it to my mother when she gives. So when we take to Krishna, all of us have gone through few things like that, correct? Even many devotees, when we have to shave up, we can, so like that, all these things. But these are all not required. Anyway, these are all secondary only. So if somebody takes to Krishna consciousness seriously, all these things become pale. It becomes insignificant. Prabhupada uses this word there in the Bhagavatam. It becomes tucham actually. So like that, these are the steps or ladder you can say in devotional service, how it is developed. Then finally you get ruchi, nishtha, ruchi, prema, bhavan, prema. So what our sampradaya, what our acharyas are offering is not a small thing actually. Esoteric thing they are offering for people like us. Just imagine. Because there are so many scholarly people who are thoroughly read Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, they may quote verse, Bhayat Bhagavad Gita. Many people know Bhagavatam also thoroughly. But they miss out this point actually. Prema, Poma, Arthoman. All Vedic literature talks about Dharma, Artha, then Kama and Moksha. Generally talks. What is this, man? This some it is also in one of the Dharma Artha Kama. So Prema Minayarayo. So our Chaitanya Mahaprabhu taught us Prema Puma Artho Mahan. Prema is love of God. Actually, Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, the 7th chapter, Manushyanam Sahasreshu Kachid Etati Siddhe Siddhanam. Out of many thousands and thousands of people, Manushyanam Sahasreshu means lakhs actually. Manushyana Kachit Etati Siddhe. Hardly few will know me. Siddhe. Yatatam api siddhanam. Out of those siddhas, siddhi also means perfection. Out of those perfected soul, hardly one will know me in truth. Yatatam api siddhanam kachin ma veti tattvataha. In Bhagavad Gita, in few places the word tattvataha comes. Tattvata means Prabhupada translated in truth, in reality. So like that. It's not that many people, they also have worshipped Radha Krishna, they worship Krishna, they have some little understanding. But what Krishna is speaking is telling you should know me in truth. So how we can know God, how we can know Krishna? There are only two ways Prabhupada explains. One, we have to learn from Krishna only. And second is from the bona fide acharyas, who are all representative of the Supreme Lord. So we can understand from them only. So it's very difficult to understand Krishna, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is so merciful, Namo Mahavadanyaya, so magnanimous. He is offering love of Krishna to us. You just imagine. So it's not an ordinary thing actually. Many people don't know, even many scholarly people, particularly Chanchalapati Prabhu interacts with a lot of Madhva, Brahmins, very austere, very scholarly people. You take each and every verse, they can speak from different angles of vision and all these things. But some important thing they'll miss out actually. But here you see, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is, and for this we no pre-qualification also. He is distributing freely. Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Padayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaurati Se Namaha. Freely to whether you are qualified, whether not qualified, educated, not educated, whether you are Jagai or Madai, sinful person, no problem. So Prabhupada demonstrated that. He brought that philosophy when he came to this place, city only in Boston, this state only. So he landed up here and see how many devotees he made. Again, Prabhupada had a strong faith in the Jaladuta ship. When he had that heart attack 2 consecutive nights on the 13th or 14th night, and third day he gets a dream that he can see Lord with all his incarnation. He has written that nice Jaladuta poem which you also recite during August to September. So very touching actually. So Prabhupada says, I am a puppet in your hand. What I can preach. But he says one very interesting thing, very important thing is, I got faith in 2 things. One, in my Guru's instruction, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakura asked him to preach in the Western world. And second, in the holy name of the Lord. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So, if we also develop that faith in chanting, then automatically other things will follow. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's and the Parampara, his immediate disciple were 6 Goswamis, and the same lineage, same Parampara, our Acharyas are coming. And for example, you see, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur was son of Bhaktivinoda Thakura. He was very scholarly person. He was called as Simha Guru. He was very powerful Vaishnava preacher. Many people will run away seeing him. He was like that. And he will very quoting from Shastras only. So that was. But whereas you see, if spiritual master, Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj, he was illiterate actually. Prabhupada explains. He can't even read and write. But he was so absorbed in Krishna. He was always fixed in Krishna consciousness. He was always chanting. See? So, in other words, Bhagavatam also says, the spiritual life, spiritual practice, devotional service cannot be stopped, cannot be checked by any other material impediments. Ahetuki apratiyata yatma. What is the first line? Savai pumsa paro dharmo etho bhakti adokshaje. Bhagavatam in the beginning itself it says, Savai pumsam, for the human being. Paro dharma. What is the paro dharma? What is the ultimate dharma? So many dharmas may they taking care of father, mother, this dharma, that dharma. So many things will be there. Occupation, business, all fine. But what is the ultimate dharma? Savai pumsa paro dharmo yato bhakti adokshaje. That it should invoke bhakti or devotion. And ahetuki apratya, it cannot be hampered by any material inconvenience, material obstacles. Ahetuki apratya yayatma super. That actually satisfy our soul. Because we are all spiritual beings. We are all Anandamayo Abhyasat. Always we want to be Ananda, full of joy, full of bliss, full of happiness. But what we are getting in return in this world is just the opposite. Satchit Ananda. That's why one of the name of Krishna is Satchit Ananda. Sat means eternity, Chit is knowledge, and Ananda is blissful. You can. Prabhupada says Krishna is always playing on the flute, is always enjoying. He has not to go to any work, he has not to go to any factory, he has not to do anything. He is just playing with his covered boys, girls, that's all. That is Lord's position. This Acharya says, brought out that. So, so we are all seeking the same happiness, in the wrong place. So Prabhupada says, just like in the desert, if you want to get water, it's impossible. So material world is like that. If you try to get happiness, there's no real happiness. There is some flickering happiness. That's why everybody is running up and down, correct? So today morning while coming also, little traffic was more. Yesterday was holiday. So today a lot of people will have to go to work, I think. Some may take holiday, they get long holiday. So like that. We don't want to work. Whenever you get holiday, on a holiday you don't go to office, you never go to office. Because we are waiting for that. We are not meant for working like this. That's why Rishabhadev's instruction is, Naham deo deya bhajan loke kashtan kaman aritham vidbhujan me thapo divyam putraka ena sattvam shuddhe brahma saukyam tam anantam. So he is giving instruction, very Rishabhadev's instruction in the 5th canto, 5th chapter. Amazing instruction to his 100 sons. He begins that chapter with this verse. Thapo, in the human form of life, little tapasya we have to take. We have to stretch little. We have to take some austerity. Tapasya, Prabhupada explained as voluntarily accepting some inconvenience. Just like today we are trying to fast till noon, correct? Little in the beginning it may be little tough actually. Because we are used to eat maybe 8:30 some breakfast or drink milk or whatever it is. So today we will try to just push up to 12 o'clock. We wait when the 12 o'clock is over, immediately we go. In the temple also, ashram also it is like that. So, but at least, so the Prabhupada in the Bhagavad Gita purport also he writes, the tapasya is very important. See how these acharyas are given the small bits and pieces here and there. So if we take to this, slowly we should come to that level. At least we know where we have to reach. We know the ultimate goal now. We need not search like a lot of researchers are there. They go to a lot of research and all people do. We have a small span of life actually. What we can try to research. Just imagine, we are so fortunate, somehow we came in touch with Prabhupada. That's why it is said, Brahmanda Brahmite Kona Bhagyavanji Guru Krishna Prasade Pai Bhakti Lata Bij. Those fortunate souls, Brahmanda, we have gone up and down. We would have been Brahma also. We would have been boss in the whole material creation. Brahmanda Brahmite, Kona wandering here and there, upper planetary, middle, everywhere we have come and gone. Just like a football, Prabhupada gives the example. Football match is there. Somebody is kicking the ball from here, the other opponent is kicking there. Like that we have been kicked up and down. We have been going up and down. Kono Bhagyavanji. Who is that Bhagyavan? Who is fortunate? Guru Krishna Prasade Pai Bhakti Lata Bij. This is how the principle works. Guru and Krishna. Guru, Krishna is seated in the heart as Paramatma, Chaitya Guru. And he will send you to a bona fide Guru if we are sincere seeker of truth. Otherwise you can go to some Ananda, this Ananda, that Ananda, this ashram, that ashram. So many, all are Mayavadis. Prabhupada confidently says, correct? Krishna consciousness is the only way. Because he has presented it based on the scriptures. Otherwise he will be lost. In fact, Prabhupada in one place says, unless you get the blessing of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, actually you can't go back to God. Like that he says. So people who are strictly following Sri Vaishnavism, who worship Narayana only Narayana, chanting all these things, and Madhvas, for example, in India, they are very strict Krishna worshippers only. Saligram Puja, everything they do. Ekadasi, Nirjala they do, all these things. So Prabhupada says this. So you just imagine what is our position. We have been picked up by the costless mercy. That's why this song and all says, please give your mercy, please. It by the costless mercy of Guru and Krishna. So, if you're a little sincere seeker, Krishna who is seated in your heart as Paramatma, he sends us to a bona fide Guru. And through bona fide Guru only, you can go back home, back to God. That's why Krishna also says, daily we are singing this Mangalarti song also, correct? So nice, Samsara Dhava. This 8 stanza is amazing actually. If you actually see, we will be singing some song, so we should try to go back and read the translation, try to understand that. Then it becomes more and more meaningful actually. And first thing Prabhupada has taught us is this only. In the morning we come in front of Lord, we sing this song. See, you see, if you follow Srila Prabhupada's way of life, we are taken to this path. So it becomes very easy, very fast. You can see yourself, you get transformed actually. So the samsara dhava nalalida loka tranaya karunya gana ganatvam praptasya. So praptasya. So spiritual master obtains this power. Praptaha. Praptasya kalyana guna namasya. Vande Guru Shri Charanaravindam. The spiritual master is receiving benediction from the ocean of mercy. Samsara dhava nalalida loka. So it's an ocean actually from Krishna actually. Just as cloud pours water on the forest fire to extinguish it, so the spiritual master delivers the materially afflicted world by extinguishing the blazing fire of material existence. So we should be convinced of this fact. Particularly for you and all, it will be little. Anyway, India, we are all poor little compared to here. You see, everything is so nice, glamorous, glittering. Correct? It looks like that. no real glittering. It's metal. It's the blazing fire of metal existence. Shastra says in many places. So when the forest fire, just like in here also, like Arizona, Los Angeles, many times this forest fire, nobody goes and lights a matchstick, correct, to burn there. No, by rubbing of the trees, actually fire develops. And when there is a forest fire, Prabhupada explained, you can't go with a bucket of water or a mug of water or a drum of water. All this thing doesn't work. That's why sometimes it burns actually. California is very frequently we read here and there, correct? So it's like that. Only the rain has to come. Then only the fire will be put off. No fire extinguisher, no fire department, nobody can do anything. They may try something, but they can't do that. So this verse says, this spiritual master delivers the materially afflicted world by extinguishing the blazing fire of material existence. So we should be convinced about this. Material existence is not that great as it is seen externally like that. Because the real problem of life, Krishna also says in the Bhagavad Gita. What is the real problem of life? Krishna says in the 13th chapter, Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadi, Dukkha, Doshanu, Darshanam. These are the real problems of life. Not that you have to buy if you have 2 cars. Prabhupada says, correct, if in America, if somebody has a swimming pool at the back, if he's having in the front, he may be thinking, I should also put up a big swimming pool like that. There's no end to it, all these things. You want to have a bigger car, all these things are good if you use it in the service of the Lord. Otherwise, it's all going to entangle us. Because the real suffering of the living entity is this material existence, Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadi. These 4 types of misery it is mentioned. Also Shastra speaks about additional 3 types of miseries. What are the 3 types of other miseries? Which is created by Adhyatmik, Adi Bhautik and Adidevik. So Prabhupada sometimes says there are 7 miseries like that in few places, he says. So Adhyatmic, created by our own body and mind, misery is created. Suddenly something happens, correct? While coming in the Boston airport, I was trying to pick one of my luggage. It looks like my baggage, it was not my luggage also. I got little hurt actually, little cut, small cut only anyway. So we are not seeking this, it falls on you actually. So as a devotee, when some miseries come, we take, okay, by Lord's grace, it is actually, we got only a token of that. Prabhupada explains actually. So maybe something big should have happened. Okay, Lord, thank you. You just gave a token. So like that it is. So material existence is like this. So, and that's why I offer my Vande Guru Shri Charanara Vindam. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the lotus feet of such a spiritual master who is the ocean of auspicious qualities. See, we read about qualities. So spiritual master, the ocean of qualities. We can see from the Prabhupada's life, full of wonderful qualities. So kind, so compassionate, so tolerant. So much austerity he took in the early days, single-handedly. Because they can see living, and he came to New York and all this place 50 years, 55 years before. And everything externally was so glittering, correct? But a pure devotee can see, no, without Krishna consciousness, they are all suffering. And because of these wonderful qualities. So like that, this Guru Ashtaka we sing daily, we should read the meaning, so wonderful. Particularly in 7th verse also, Sakshat Dharitvena Samasta Shastre Uktas Tatha Bhavayata Eva Sadbihi Kintu Prabhuya Priya Eva Tasya Vande Guru Shri Charanara Vindam. The translation is, the spiritual master is to be honored as much as the Supreme Lord, because he is the most confidential servitor of the Lord. This is acknowledged in all revealed scriptures and followed by all authorities. That's why when Prabhupada used to come in the early days and slowly ISKCON was incorporated, he used to visit different temples in the West also. Sometime, what is that big car used to come those days? What is the biggest car here? That one more is Rolls Royce, correct? Rolls Royce. So the Rolls Royce came and picked. So all these reporters, they were always seeing, and people, devotees are coming to the airport, receiving him, garlands, so many garlands, they're paying obeisance, all the Westerners actually, correct? So, and they are wondering, so Prabhupada, some of them used to ask, what is this? Why is this? And then like that he goes out and big cars are there. So once he was asked, Swamiji, why you need a something like that, I don't recollect, suddenly it struck me something. Why you need a big car like this, Rolls Royce? So Prabhupada sees how a pure devotee sees all these things. For him it's, in the Bhagavad Gita also Krishna says, correct, when a self-realized person, he sees a stone or a gold or a pebble, it's all one and the same thing for him. It doesn't make any difference. For us it makes gulf of difference. So Prabhupada said, what is this Rolls Royce after all? It's made of some whatever, steel, aluminium or metal or whatever it is. Nothing actually. We should make golden car or something like that. He was driving that point actually. And he was receiving. So people may think, hey, what is he's an ordinary person? Why? He's not an ordinary actually. Sakshat Dharitvena. He's actually Hari himself, you can say in one sense. So Prabhupada also clarifies, worshipable God and worshipper God. So spiritual master, these acharyas, they also worship God. They worshipper God. But when a disciple treat each spiritual master, his guru, as good as God, actually That's how we should see, and that way actually we'll also be spiritually benefited. And that is acknowledged in all the revealed scriptures actually, and followed by all authorities. Sakshat Dharitvena, Sakshat Haritvena, Samasta Shastre, Uktas Tata Bhavayata Evasat. Kintu Prabhuya Priyavat. Therefore I offer my respectful obeisances unto the lotus feet of Spirit, who is a bona fide representative of Sri Hari. Like that. This is, and the 8th verse is very famous, all of you will be familiar again. Yasya prasadat bhagavad prasado, yasya aprasada nagati kutopi, dhyayam stuvan tasya sestri sandhyam, vande guru shri charanaravindam. By the mercy of the spiritual master, one receives the mercy of Krishna. By the mercy of spiritual master, one receives the benediction of Krishna. Without the grace of spiritual master, one cannot make any advancement. Therefore, I should always remember and praise the spiritual master at least 3 times a day. I should offer my respectful obeisances unto the lotus feet of. So this is the secret actually. If somebody says, I don't have, when we again go and preach, no, I go to Krishna. Why I need a spiritual master? People say, no, that is not possible actually. Just like if you want to meet a simple minister or somebody like that, it's not easy. You have to go through it. There's a protocol. You have to go through his office. That's how it works. So similarly, by the mercy of spiritual master, one receives the benediction of Krishna. So like that, so a very nice thing. So today is a very auspicious day also. See, like Disappearance Day. Correct? So Acharyas, when they come, appear or disappear, both are auspicious for us. Because they come on a mission of the Lord, they set the mission right, and they go and continue wherever Lord send them, send him to the next preaching. Just like we are preaching here, sometimes you go to Mexico and preach, or Canada and preach, something like that. So they are always on the mission of the Lord. They are one with Lord. They have pure devotee. They have no desire other than the desire of the Lord. This is also one of the principles of Sharanagati or surrender Chaitanya Mahaprabhu taught us. They are just, see, Prabhupada's life if you take also, 35 years he was struggling in India. Correct? Apparently, he was a failure, you can say, from the material calculation. But these acharyas, these pure devotees, they relish, they enjoy, because they are serving the Lord. They are not bothered about result, whether it's positive or negative. Just like when we go and preach also, we should try our best. And sometimes result may come, sometimes result may not come. We should not be perturbed. Krishna, ultimately, if Krishna wants to do something, it's very easy for him. Correct? But he wants more people to get involved. That is his plan. That's how a devotee takes. So, these acharyas, they come, they set the mission right, and they go to the next place where Lord is sending them. This is the understanding. So these are the few thoughts, and with this I'll stop. If anybody has anything, question or comment, anything. Any question? No question? Everything understood or everything not understood? Both the things, no question. One more beautiful verse in the Upanishad, they say, Yasya deve para bhakti, yatha deve tatha guru, tasaiva katitai artha prakashante mahatmana. It's a beautiful verse. Unto those, Yasya deve para bhakti, unto those who have a implicit faith in both the spiritual master and Lord Sri Krishna, this knowledge of these scriptures will be revealed to us automatically. It's not that by our academic scholarship I mug up, I buy out all these verses, the purport, I cram the purport, uses all the word. You just cram the purport of my books. and you can be a big preacher like that. Prabhupada, if you do this, it will be wonderful. Prabhupada book. So, but in general, actually, it's this spiritual knowledge is by revelation. It takes time. Sometimes small kids, they get fast because everybody is continuing their spiritual journey from the previous life. We understand from the Bhagavad Gita again. Swalpam api asya dharmasya trayato mayato bhayat. So this divya gyan, this transcendental knowledge, it has to be revealed to us. So how Lord will reveal? It is actually when we try to serve practically the mission of the Lord, when we try to please the spiritual master, actually we will get this knowledge. So it's a very nice thing, very good process, tested process, it's a success process. Krishna also says in the Bhagavad Gita, 4th chapter, 10th verse, Vitaraga Bhayakroda Manmaya Mamapashda Bhaho Jnana Tapasa Puta Madbhava Agata. Beautiful verse actually. See, like that, Krishna very clearly says directly, actually in this sequence of verse in the 4th chapter, Krishna is telling about his position actually. We know how parampara, this, that, and he spoke to Arjuna, before that he spoke to Vivaswan, all these things. So, 9th verse it says, Janma karma cheme divyam. Just by knowing Krishna's birth and Krishna's activity. Similarly, if you read Krishna, Acharya's birth and his activities, Janma and karma, Tektva devam punarjan, when we give up this body, no more repeated birth again and again. So this Vitaraga verse, being freed from attachment, fear and anger, being fully absorbed in me and taking refuge in me, many persons in the past became purified by knowledge of me, and thus they all attained transcendental love for me. See, transcendental love we can attain if we try to follow this. Being freed from attachment, fear and anger. Very simple thing is being fully absorbed in me, taking refuge in me. Krishna also in many places says, Man manabha, mad bhakto, madhyaji, ma namaskaru. Many persons in the past have been purified by knowledge of me, and thus they attend. So like that, it's very interesting, and we are all fortunate. We should continue our spiritual practice. Like I mentioned, there may be some turbulence. When we are going in flight, now and then they announce, correct, we have to wear our seat belt. So spiritual life also little turbulence may happen, some inconvenience, some difficulty. We should push on. It is actually possible. There is no difficulty actually like that. That's why many lectures Prabhupada says, where is the difficulty? What is the difficulty? Like that and all Prabhupada asks. Because a pure devotee can see. There may be some inconvenience to kind of pertaining to body or immediate bodily relation, all this thing, that's okay. So, when we know what we are going to get through these acharyas, we are going to get Krishna, love of Krishna, actually we should be excited. So that's why Bhagavatam describes about the spiritual world, what is happening there, what the devotees are doing there. So somehow we are turned away from there, we have come here. So Krishna's mission, Acharya's mission is to take us back home, back to God. I'll stop here. Grantara Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Disappearance Day Mahotsav.